I feel like the hardest part of writing this special is the opening joke. What happens if I'm not funny? What happens if people don't relate to things inside of my mind? Everyone here is probably going to think I'm a weird psychopath because my thoughts are insane. Like, okay, if the government is watching everybody through satellites, how exactly do massacres happen? They're like, slow down, buddy, we can't watch everyone. It's my voice for the government. I make it sound like Snidely Whiplash. You remember that? Well, Snidely Whiplash, if you can't watch everyone, then stop letting movies pretend that you can. That's a false advertisement. I Googled how many shootings there were between January to June in the US this year. 248 mass shootings. What is the point of them knowing my location? Okay, I paid my taxes to know that if I'm dying of, I don't know, constipation, Dr. Stephen Strange is going to wizard his way into my bathroom and save me while I'm sitting on the porcelain jungle. Protect me, government! Or at the very least, avenge me. That was the promise I was given by the Marvel Cinematic Universe. A real thing, by the way. 2,167 people have died from constipation. I refuse to be 2168. Which leads me to my next thought. Is my fear of nuclear holocaust real? Or am I scared of something that I'm not 100% sure will destroy us all? Okay, I finger poked nuclear holocaust into my Google search. Do you know how many nukes have been dropped in the world? 2,056 launched for testing. That's 528 in the atmosphere and over 1,500 underground, plus one in what we know as outer space, Starfish Prime, which is the weirdest name ever. None of which caused world-ending destruction. Okay, nukes have been dropped on Japan twice. They're fine. In fact, they're thriving. Ranked number 1 on the Forbes 2019 list of cleverest countries, they're 6th in Nobel Prizes and IQ rankings, and they're 5th in school tests. Their citizens are the 8th wealthiest in the world. Meanwhile, the country that bombed them, ranked 28th in IQ ratings out of 25 countries and has a poverty ranking of 13.7%. That means that about 1 in 7 Americans have an annual family resource that is below the poverty threshold. Hashtag instant karma. And please, before you look at the first place we got hanging up there, the Nobel Prize was created by Western institutes in America. So of course, in a country of egomaniacs, myself included, we are number 1 on a list that we created. Now, I'm not saying that getting nuked isn't a catastrophe. Obviously, the side effects are daunting. It just feels like every country with a nuke is just as scared to use it as the other guys. You remember in middle school where 2 dudes would start yelling at each other and everyone from the schoolyard started gathering to watch the fight? They keep getting in each other's faces like, hit me first, cuz. Nah, you hit me first, bruh. Right? Couple pushes, couple curse words, but nothing happens. And school police show up to break things up and you just keep eating your microwave cheese pizza, disappointed with life. Well, I mean, unless you're my cousin Gabe. That dude is a gangster. He's like my black Vladimir Putin, right? I tried that with him when I was 8 years old in a room full of all 16 of my cousins. You hit me first. So he did. Pow! Right in the kisser. I cried so much that day. Vladimir Putin is the only real gangster president left, by the way. You leave that dude alone. That's the real-life Ivan Drago. Yeah, from Rocky IV? That dude murdered Apollo Creed in the ring with no sympathies. He's got his hand on the button like Fork with Russia, and if they die, they die. Outside of him, though, I am convinced that nobody wants to be expelled from life. Because if one country launches its nukes, all countries are launching their nukes. And then, what was the point? Nobody wins because we'd all be dead anyways. You see, and these are my thoughts. No idea if people think that way. Thank you for coming tonight. I know there's a lot of places that you could have been, and I appreciate that you chose to spend your attention listening to me express myself. Marcus Aurelius, who I'm sure you thought I wasn't going to mention tonight, said the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. This special is called the thought process of a sad clown. Now, I won't tell you how to receive these admissions. However, I implore you to save your criticism until the end. All stories have 3 parts before you can truly draw any real conclusions. Not all of my thoughts are this high profile. I've had some pretty relatable, lower level thoughts like, I recently realized that my social anxiety makes texting very difficult for me, right? See, I'm a sensitive guy. I like to paint a pretty experience when I speak so that I can express how I feel. But in today's fast-paced society, there's no emotion or tone to a text. It's impossible to know if someone felt what you wrote the way you wrote it. It's literally impossible. Of all the possible things in the limitless universe, it's the one thing that doesn't make the cutting floor. It is frustrating. I am vexed. I have spent countless hours, nix that, days, writing, deleting, editing, and rebooting the simplest of text, just to ensure that what I'm saying can't be misinterpreted.
Oh my God!
But it's impossible because a single word can have so many meanings these days. Like, okay, you can watch a pitcher throw a ball in a baseball game, or you can pour lemonade from a pitcher of water. You can turn right. You can be right. Or you can be right back. You can blackmail somebody, or you can just, I don't know, be a blackmail. 2 very different things, same word. You know what other word has a double meaning? And nobody seems to want to clear it up. The word gay. Right? In the dictionary, the word gay has 2 meanings. 1, homosexual, used especially of a man. The city's gay and lesbian people. Okay? That's not my lane. Love them, very vibrant people. The second definition, which also predates the first one, however, says lighthearted and carefree. Jeremiah had a lighthearted disposition and a very carefree face. Synonyms included jolly, animated, and cheerful. Okay, I'm not a homosexual, but I'm pretty gay. Like, okay, I love musicals. I have been spotted numerous times performing Rent, Grease, and all the VHS Disney musicals to all the trees and animals that will lend their ears. I'm like Pocahontas when I'm in these streets. High School Musical 1 and 2, that's my jam. Vanessa and Efron forever. Soaring, we're flying. There's not a star in heaven that we can't reach. If we're trying, yeah, we're breaking free. By definition, pretty gay. I love romantic comedies. Look, if Ryan Reynolds wasn't your god until Deadpool, then you've only read the New Testament, bandwagoners. Just Friends, definitely maybe. I've watched those movies more times than I'm willing to admit, and I'm willing to admit I've watched them both over 322 times each. I know every line. Gay. I love baths, my God. I love baths. Coconut oil, apple cider vinegar, cucumber face mask, Lizzo in my ears, feeling good as hell. Oh, shy. By definition, that is definitely me at my most gay. But thanks to that word's double meaning, I have faced countless ridicule from my peers about the status of my sexuality. I was called a faggot for sitting on the toilet to take a piss by my own brother. I was beat up in middle school countless times for singing, gay songs by Michael Jackson and Elton John. I wore eyeliner to look like this pro wrestler Jeff Hardy one day in middle school and was chased for 2 miles in East Las Vegas by a gang of people from my own race all the way to my doorstep. Now, let me say, although I identify as a heterosexual, sexuality is a spectrum and has zero bearing on who you are as a person. There is no scale in this universe that you can weigh someone's potential for life based on who they choose to spend their experiences with, sexual or otherwise. Love is love, man. And expression is everything. To abuse a child for expressing himself based on the limited and closed-minded views of the masses is an injustice. So I raise that multicolored flag with pride, not because of my sexuality, but because of my ability to accept people for who and what they are inside and how they treat the people around them. Past few years have been insane, hasn't it? I got engaged. Yeah, woohoo! No, don't do that, please. It's weird, because most people think we decided to tie the knot too early. However, I met my fiance at work in January of 2020. We worked with each other 12 hours a day, 5 days a week, and stayed on FaceTime from the time we got home till the time she fell asleep after midnight. We started dating on March 7th. By March 20th, we were shut down and being forced to quarantine because Cardi B cursed us all in that viral social media video. Coronavirus is getting real. But be careful what you manifest. The universe will always give you what you want. Just maybe not in the way you asked for it. So quarantine happens, and we do what any new couple who can't stand to be away from each other does, and we decide to spend quarantine together. 3 months, 24/7, in a master bedroom with the bathroom attached, and we both wake up at 3 a.m. daily. Pilots don't log this many training hours in 3 months. Living with this woman during that time? During any time. Never boring. It presents a whole new world of discovery. Let me paint a picture for you. We get home after a very long day of work. She's exhausted. I'm exhausted. She's like, I'm gonna shower so I can go pass out. I start making tea, right? Preparing to wind down with some chamomile and raw honey. And 5 minutes into her shower, the door to the bathroom bursts open. Steam starts to roll out the doorway, and out sprints my fiance down the hallway, past the kitchen, dripping wet, mind you. She jump squats onto the couch in all her naked soapy glory, rips the blinds open to the backyard, straight up cackles, and says, "Baby, we have visitors." High jumps off the couch, covers her chest with her hands, and legit frolics back into the bathroom while cackling again. I would like to add that to this day, I still don't know who these visitors were. Nobody planned to show up. Nobody did show up. And when she came out of the shower the second time, she was back to the original storyline. She kissed me, told me how tired she was, drank her tea, and went to bed. Never to speak of this moment again.
Sad Clown will return for part 2 after these brief messages.